to the third intermission podcast. It's your boy Avery here, holding things down for the king, Dave, on this episode. Two-man show tonight, possibly three, we'll see. It's me, it's Troy, in the cut here tonight. Troy, what's going on, sir? How you doing?
I am doing very well, thank you. I'm just enjoying this lovely evening. We've got a nice evening, nice cool evening. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's just perfect.
Hey,
How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Hey, I'm just finally glad we're getting past all this friggin' snow, man. I'm finally able to walk outside Edmonton in just a light coat. Don't worry about no snow. Don't worry about no sleet. This is why. I mean, I know, yes, playoff hockey is on the way very soon for most of the continent. But what I love most about playoff hockey, Troy, it's warm outside. We're not freezing our tails off watching a playoff series, no matter the market.
Yeah, it's nice where it's April and you're getting your typical April weather. It snowed a couple times over here. Well, those were gone in a couple of days. Yeah, it's nice to be outside without my winter hat, and a winter jacket. I can just be in my sweater and chill and enjoy the sport, especially with playoffs starting at the end of the week.
Right? Oh man, nothing better than that. Of course, here on the third intermission, got a couple of topics. Well, more than a couple of topics to get into here tonight. So we'll start off with one of the biggest ones coming out of Leafland. Austin Matthews gets to 69 goals, nice, in the Leafs game against Detroit this past weekend. He is the first player in almost 30 years to hit 69 goals. The first player since 95-96, and still a couple of games to go. So Matthews still has 70 goals in his reach. Troy, I'll ask you your thoughts on Matthews continuing again, and where do you see Matthews in the Hart Trophy race when this is all said and done?
Okay, so I think he'll hit 70 as long as Sheldon Keefe doesn't sit him. as long as there's no, as long as there's no nothing from up top saying you need to sit him to preserve his health, he should hit 70 no problem. Um, I mean, he's one goal away. So, I mean, like, all it takes is one. And I mean, like, as long as he's in the lineup, like, that they're just going to keep feeding him the puck to get him to seven. Because, like you said, it's been almost 30 years since we last saw a 70 goal scorer. And I believe that was both Solani and McGinley in the same year, wasn't it?
Actually, no,
Because
that
I
was
remember, because McGinley, I think he scored 76.
well, yes, that
And
was
I think Delaney did too. Either it was the year before, the same year, or the year after.
same, yeah, same
Both years
year.
after that. Yeah, so like that's unprecedented. Because before the standard, like in the old NHL, the standard was 20 goals, which was weird. And then somebody moved the goalpost and like, you know what? 20 sucks. Let me do 30. And then 30 became the standard. And then a veteran came on the scene and said, "Nah, y'all are hoes. Watch this." And he was putting up 50, and now and look at him now, like he, like 40 something away from catching Gretzky. Like that's crazy when you think about it, And when you, I think it was something that I think we had posted the other day, like what's more impressive, 100 assists or 70 goals. I think 70 goals in today's NHL is probably the harder thing to do. Because I mean, obviously 100 assists is hard, but I mean, like when you have guys who can put the puck in the net, I mean, assists can come, but I mean, like it's harder to score 70, I think. Um, yeah, as long as they don't sit him, it's like I think he's definitely gonna get it in the next couple of games. What will he finish with? I think he'll finish with 71. I think that's where he'll end up.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't see Keith sitting him. I do think Keith lets him get a chance to get to 70. I mean, it'll be a great thing to see. Get to 70 goals, first guy in 31 years hit the mark, and in the era that's considered the hardest to score. As it stands right now, I personally see Matthews coming in the Hart Trophy race in third or fourth. But I think it's still going to be between Kucherov, um, McKinnon, or McDavid. But where do you see him finishing the Hart Trophy race this year, Troy?
Um, honestly, I would love to see him win it, but think his I don't think the 69 or whatever number he finishes with will be enough to get him the Hart Trophy. Um, I think that's most likely gonna go to Kucherov. Just because I mean, like, I think what would hold it against McDavid is the fact that he's been out these last couple of games or whatever it is, and he could have gotten it sooner. Plus the slow start. McKinnon, I think, will be a close second. But I mean, like, honestly, like, if what comes to shove, I mean, it should be McKinnon. Like that point streak, that home game point streak was incredible because I believe only twice this season were opponents able to hold them off the score sheet at home. Like that is an impressive record. So that basically means, at no during those point streaks, at no point were Colorado like not scoring any goals. Like they were cut out of. But yeah, I think Matthews will finish third, but who knows how these guys vote, right? So I mean, he could end up taking it, but I think it's Kucherov.
Yeah, no, I would have no opposition. I don't think there's really a wrong answer when it comes to the three or four names that are in the mix for the Hart Trophy. But it's funny how in this era, it was for quite some time, Troy. We thought, oh, a guy can't get to 130, a guy can't get to 140, and now we got three guys who are at 130 or higher. Kucherov's at 141, and he might get to 100 helpers before McDavid gets there. If McDavid sits again against San Jose by the time it's taping, the Sharks are already going to play Edmonton. But there's a chance that Kucherov might pass McDavid in the assist race if he keeps sitting out, which would be hilarious considering the ground McDavid put for himself compared to the rest of the league earlier when it came to helpers. That would be funny if he sits again and Kucherov says, "Oh, that assist record, that assist mark, it's mine now, Connor."
Yeah, because Kucherov is one behind McDavid. Like yeah, he is definitely gonna catch him pass. And it reminds me of a time when I believe both Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby both did it, where they had racked up enough points, got hurt, and came back and was still leading in points. Like nobody even came close to catching them while they were off hurt. They were off for like long stretches.
Yeah, like it would be something else. But I'll give you this, Troy. Now here's a name that I think I don't I he's obviously not gonna win it, but a name that I think that should get consideration to maybe sneak in, if not third, at least fourth, is if the Penguins make the playoffs. Sidney Crosby, I think, should get some level of consideration for what he's done, almost having a 100-point season at 36 years old. He's, I think, the fifth or sixth oldest player to record a 90-point season in NHL history. He is one of the reasons, if not the reason, Pittsburgh is still in the playoff race. And the way that the Hart Trophy is so subjective, you could angle for for most valuable to his team consideration, because yeah, the MVP voting and MVP criteria is still so subjective that you could interpret it as Crosby being the most valuable to his team as a way to give him some votes, Troy.
Sidney Crosby, this man has put his team on his back and said, "Let's go for one more run."
Yep.
Because there were rumors at the beginning of the season, about people love to chat and don't really have any substance to it. They're just like, "Oh, Crosby's old, he's washed." Pittsburgh's washed because they're one of the oldest teams in the league, and Crosby's like, "Okay, bet." You know, so the season more or less rests on Crosby's shoulders, which is a shame because there's 22 other dudes who can help him out. you know, he's doing his thing over there. I think they're still feeling the effects of um getting Michael Bunting because like that trade, they lost that trade. And Bunting, like he scored a couple goals, but
Yeah, yeah.
he's not doing what they thought he'd be doing. Like these these Dubas reunions don't always seem to. It doesn't look like it's panning out very well for him right now. Yeah, Crosby's doing his thing. Yeah, definitely he should get some consideration. He has most definitely earned it to be in the conversation. Um, so like if I was part of the writing association, I would definitely throw a vote his way for sure. Depending on how many votes he gets per person or whatever. But yeah, he absolutely needs to be part of this conversation because the things he's done for Pittsburgh is unreal. Because if he wasn't doing Sidney Crosby things, we wouldn't be talking about Pittsburgh.
No, exactly. And H. Sidney Crosby is in his mid-30s, 41 goals, 49 helpers, 90 points. No other player on Pittsburgh, Troy, has more than 65. This is the oldest guy in the team. This is the old man, Sidney Crosby, with 90 points. I'll say it again. No one else on the Penguins has more than 65. Wild.
This is like when you're playing 2K and like you do the creative player and you have him jacked and he's got all the points and like your next closest guy has like 30 something points. It's only like 10 games into the season and you're like, what
Right?
the hell?
It's nuts. And he also has 9 power play goals. Leaves the Penguins in that category. 3 game winning goals. It's like this is the Sidney Crosby who's gone through injuries, missed time in his career. Probably should be higher in the all-time games of points list due to that. And he's coming back as the elder statesman of this team. Still loyal to Pittsburgh. Still saying he wants to be a Penguin. Still says he wants to retire as a Penguin. And doing this, it's right now Pittsburgh's 4 points out, so they're gonna have to win out to make it. But man, if they find a way in, I know you can't give it to a guy who doesn't make the playoffs, but if they sneak in some way somehow, if I were a member of the PHWA, I would really consider a third place vote for Sidney Crosby. I would consider it for putting him in as a finalist. I really would.
I never understood that why a guy who doesn't make the playoffs shouldn't win the regular season MVP. Like that's dumb. I mean, like you could be Sidney Crosby, busting your ass and carrying 22 other dudes, you know, and to not get consideration because your team didn't make the playoffs. That's kind of
It is a fair point. It is a fair point. I guess it's more in subjectivity of did you lead your team to qualify? But it's such a subjective thing. I do admit there's no clear criteria on who can or who can't, and if it's a most valuable player of the year award or most valuable to your team award. So we're always gonna get this debate depending on how people see what an MVP means, and I guess that really should be on NHL to really clarify it more and say what the Hart Trophy properly means, not lead up to so much subjectivity.
yeah, absolutely. The more clarity you have, either it becomes to decide who should be in this conversation, like on a yearly basis. But you know how the NHL rolls. They like to say something and then not really clarify until somebody does something to make them clarify.
Oh, I mean, you're not wrong. And another thing I find weird about the Hart is that how it's almost always a forward award. You rarely see a goaltender or a defender win it. Like someone who I think should be at least in top 5 for the Hart is Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes has 91 points. He's got 17 goals, 74 assists. He's having a season that's being compared to guys like Bobby Orr in terms of what he's done as a blue liner. Like, and I rarely heard Quinn Hughes as being in the mix to be a top 5 for the Hart, which to me, I mean, he's probably gonna win the Norris, but he should be in consideration for the Hart at least top 5, Troy. 91 points from the blue line.
I mean, that's super impressive because I mean, like you always want to see your defense, generate some offense. And 91 points is it's fucking absurd, but like absurd in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it just shows that like you're getting offense from your forwards and your defense. So that like you're a dual threat more or less. Like not only do you have to game plan for the forwards, you have to game plan for your defense too because they can also put the puck in the net. But yeah, he definitely should be in the conversation because, like you said, he's a defenseman, and the only love defensemen get is for the Norris Trophy. So like you can rack up a ton of points, and you won't even really get much of a second look. I mean, Cale Makar, like I think he might be the lone exception because he came in his rookie year and then the
Mm-hmm.
thing he did the damn thing. But I mean, like other than that, yeah, like the defense, they need to get shown some more luck too. Because I mean,
Yeah.
like even the year when Roman Yossi went nuts, like all he was considered for was the North, and it's like why? Like he's another dude who put with the exception of Pekka Rinne, he put those two. They put 21 other dudes on their backs
It,
and
yeah.
carry them, and they're just like, oh, it's only based on your position. We're only going to consider you for this. That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, it really is, Troy. And even just watching highlights again from the Vancouver win over Edmonton, Quinn Hughes, just seeing how casually he can get the puck out of the zone. He is so responsible with the puck when it comes to clearing it out of Vancouver's end, forcing turnovers, making plays. That is a guy that I don't know how you're not considering him for the Hart in terms of what he's done as a game changer, yes, offensively, but with the fact that he is probably one of the most responsible D-men with the puck in his own zone by far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely a guy that you can trust to in both ends, really, to get the puck off the ice and to clear the front of the net and make sure that your goalie, whether it's Demko or Casey the Smith, play that way they can see it and play accordingly. And that's what you want out of your defenseman. You want them to be capable, responsible defensemen. That's what you employ them for, and that's what you hope for. And he's doing just that for Vancouver, and I'm sure they're super happy that they made the right selection in the draft pick.
Yeah, no, as they should be. And going from that to, of course, switching gears to our favorite topic on the show, the Arizona Coyotes and what has gone on down there. And oh, we have, well, before it's not June, but we have it appears, Troy, that we have reached the end of the Arizona Coyotes saga, as multiple reports have come out that on either April 17th or April 18th, we will hear that the Coyotes will be first purchased by the NHL, and rights for the franchise will be given to Ryan Smith and his group out of Salt Lake City, Utah, for a team to for the soon be former Coyotes to start playing at the Delta Center this fall for the 2024-2025 season. The news was broken by multiple outlets, and before the Coyotes played Edmonton, Bill Armstrong flew into town to address the team and inform them what's gone on. And Alex Morello will be getting the right to restart the team in after he gets a new arena. So it's gonna be like the Cleveland Browns plan, in which the Arizona Coyotes IP, name, colors, logo will remain in Arizona. The Coyotes will not fold. They'll become an inactive team, and they'll be reactivated when things get sorted out in Arizona. Now, you know what? That's he had a team back in Arizona, fine, but it should not be via Alex Morello. That should not be via Alex Morello, who is one of the Troy, this man's a clown. This man's a clown. The way he's bungled, the way he's bungled hockey in Arizona, pro hockey, the fact that he's done everything wrong when it comes to arena, when it comes to treating your employees, the stories were shown before at different outlets. When it comes to just being a competent business person, and the NHL wants to let him get another team again in, say, 5 to 6 years under the Coyotes 2.0 banner. That to me is absurd, Troy. It really is.
They're taking okay. First things first. Let the Arizona Coyotes die already. Like they've gone through enough. You know that meme from The Simpsons where it's like stop, stop, he's already dead. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that is the Phoenix Coyotes. For Arizona Coyotes, whatever name, whatever city or state name they're going by, the Coyotes, just let them die. I'm surprised, like the the fact that this dude is being allowed to purchase another team. It's absurd. It's like the U.S. presidency election. Like you have a crooked giant orange dummy with tiny hands being allowed to run for president again after being impeached multiple times. He's facing court lawsuits in the hundreds, in the hundreds. And this man is allowed to run for president again. Like that's the first immediate comparison that came to mind. I think it works, but either way, like how Gary Bettman, man, give your head a shake. What are you doing? Like, how do you not remember this man's history? Like, you work hand in hand with this dude every year about what to do with the same damn team every year, and you're gonna let him put his fingers on another team? This isn't a serious league. It's a joke thing. What is this?
You're right, Troy. It's a joke thing. Like, I don't understand, like, how. I mean, I it's obvious anyone who knows the US market knows how Arizona is one of the largest TV markets and how, yes, you do want to find a way to get back there again in a few years. But this guy, the same man who there's come out story after story after story about how this group is incompetent. It blows my mind that this is going to be a reality in, say, 2028, 2029, that we're going to be here again. Because what then? What if, okay, say they get the arena. Okay, cool. They have the team again. But what if you run into the exact same issues of Alex Morello Sr. and Jr. and his ownership group and how they have had issues? Great example that came out last week. The Coyotes were not paying hotel bills on the road. They were not paying hotel bills. You cannot have that happen as a professional sports league or a franchise. That cannot happen. What if it happens again? What if other things get missed? What if other things are done at a substandard rate with the Coyotes 2.0 with the same man? Really is a joke thing.
Wait a minute. I missed the report on the hotel thing. So these men were flying out on the road for their games.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the hotel had every right to dash out all their things because the rooms weren't paid for.
You got it.
What a loser! Send this team to Houston. What?
Yeah,
Listen,
so
if you can't afford to send your team into like proper settings and pay for it, and like if you're already struggling with finding a permanent home for your team that you own, get rid of it. Stop trying to buy teams because clearly you don't know what you're doing.
no.
Like you had the instruction booklet and said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna read it." Look, and look at you now. You're like Homer Simpson trying to build a barbecue, and you fucked it up because you didn't read the instructions.
that is that is pretty much it. Like, this is a man, like, he's got a team and he built the car after his brother Herb told him to design my car, Homer, and he built that monstrosity.
I remember that episode.
That's what this is. And
So good.
it got so bad, Troy, that hotels demanded the Coyotes to present a valid check upon checking in.
Yeah. What?
Like, that's how bad it got. They demanded the team pay them right now up front because we can't trust you. We can't let you pay after you're out of here. Pay us right now. We know your reputation. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, like that's so bad. Like why? Like, and the other board of governors, the other owners, they're not looking at this and be like, this man shouldn't have a team. But they're probably out buddies with him too, right? So they're just like, nah, it's cool.
Right? Like, make it like how do you all like how do you as a collective in that in league in the board of governors how do you not all feel shame? Like, how do you not all feel shame about how this man runs his team like a circus?
Listen, if they can do background checks on us for jobs, they need to do background checks on their owners. Make them pass some kind of literacy test or some shit. Like, how do you
Like,
have such a foo for an owner and just keep giving him chances?
it blows my mind. And the only good thing I will say is, it does suck for the staff that will be going to Utah, the fans, the media. Like, there's a diehard core there. Only I'll say is this: that Ryan Smith is a competent man. When this team gets to Utah, this team will actually be run by someone who's not a complete moron. So I'm gonna say that's a one good thing, because this team deserves some level of competency in the ownership group.
Yes, they do. I saw something somewhere on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it either. There was a tweet that said for the NHL should allow players who don't want to go to Utah, they should allow them to become UFA. Do you agree or disagree with?
So I saw something about that. I think it's gonna be discussed how that's gonna work out, because I think there might be now. Maybe Elizabeth can correct me on this, but I know there might be a play where some guys might opt out. I think that should be a thing in general, in which if your team relocates, you have the option to become a UFA or an RFA to an extent. So I saw there was an article. I have to double check the source. There was an article that came out that said Ryan Smith, in the way they're doing this relocation, might have the ability to select contracts. I'm not sure if that fully means a player will become a UFA, but it does sound like there might be possibly some ways in which certain players won't be going to Utah. So it's interesting, Troy.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how this plays out, and it looks like we'll find an answer to this before the end of the month.
Yeah. Although, with the Utah thing, just seeing the branding, people got it. People are wild. Yeah, people are teenagers. Because what name did I see people immediately jump on? The Salt Lake Soakers. Grow up. Y'all are 16.
For those of you listening and wondering what soaking is, Google it. I'm not here to educate you tonight on that. Google it. You'll find out what soaking is for yourself.
that is a that is a very strange place. And that I'm just glad I never wanted to go to BYU. I'm just glad it wasn't a university of choice when I was a teen. Oh my.
Oh, a whole lot of soaking going on over there. I don't
Yeah,
know how you explain that.
I had the misfortune of somehow landing up on soaking TikTok, Troy. That's a very strange thing.
That is that is messy. I watch now that we've said it out loud. Watch when I go on TikTok next, the algorithm's gonna change, and that's all I'm gonna
It might. Oh my gosh. And going from that, something a little more for the family. TNT at the time of this taping did their own multiverse animated game, following what ESPN has done, following what NBC Chicago has done. An animated game with the Gold Knights and Avalanche that saw Warner Brother characters being used in the game, and that saw Colby Armstrong on commentary, and it had Bugs Bunny, Scooby Doo, Velma, Superman
see.
playing in the
Batman.
Batman, yes. Batman played in it, and I love when these US networks do animated games to try and get a new audience in, to try and have some fun, try and get kids in, try and get different demographics in. But I want to see a Canadian network get involved in that. I want to see a YTV game. I want to see a Hockey Night in Canada game using cartoon characters up here. I want to
You want
know,
some Yukon?
yeah, why not? Yeah,
You
well,
know, bust out Captain Planet one more time. The raccoons.
the rack. Yes, do use the raccoons. Hockey Night in Canada game. That's the CBC. No, that's a CBC show. Use the raccoons in your animated broadcast. Like I hate how we're a bit behind the US networks on that. Like get that going for next year. Get a Hockey Night in Canada animated game on CBC. Let's make it happen.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Even though, like, I think, even though I used to love Batman as a kid growing up, and as I've gotten older, I realize that he's a very fraudulent superhero. He did score a goal. He did score a goal. I did see that, so that's pretty cool. Speaking of family,
Yes.
I was watching TV the other day,
Mm,
and the Kachuk family,
yes.
they're in a new Tim Hortons commercial. I don't know if you've seen this yet. And I saw, and Keith comes in at the very end, and I was looking at the three of them,
Yep.
at Brady, Matthew, and Keith. Brady, right, in my opinion, Brady looks like what his dad looks like right now, and Matthew looks like what his dad used to look like at Keith's age. So it's like, I'm just like this. It's so weird how the DNA and genetics work because it's like Brady looks like an old man right now. Like if you put like 100 more pounds on him, he looks like his old man right now.
Yeah, the face. I see what you mean. The faces. That's funny. The genes are strong. Keith's genes are strong, and they really impose themselves on their sons. Cause yeah, no, I definitely see what you mean, Troy, with that.
Like, and I feel bad for the mom because like I seen the car commercial with the mom too,
Mm,
where the two of them are fighting in the car, and it's like
yes.
this mom must be like pissed as fuck that none of these kids look like her. Like, like all they got were the cheekbones.
It is, yeah. Yeah. It's actually very funny just to see how similar to their dad they are. It's shocking. And you're right though. Matthew looks like how Keith was years ago, and Brady looks like how Keith is now. It is, but at the same time, I don't know what Brady somehow looks like Keith now, yet baby face at the same time. It makes no sense.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, he's a baby face version of his dad right now. But when he gets to his dad's age, he's gonna look like his dad right now. And I hope our listeners understand all of that conjuncture right there.
We have a very smart audience, Troy. So I do think they would get that. I hope at least they understand what we're trying to say here. Because if you maybe I don't know, maybe we'll use the Twitter page to try and ask the audience on our show. Yo, do they look like Keith?
Yes, yes, we should definitely ask the audience and see what they think.
Oh my gosh. And we'll wrap things up here on the show. Time is taping. Canada won their 13th gold medal at the Women's World Championships. They just won in overtime 6-5 in Utica, New York. Danielle Serdachny with the overtime winner in a thriller back and forth game. It's always a lot of fun when Canada plays US for all the marbles, Troy.
Yes. I didn't get to see much of the game because I was busy with the kids and stuff, but I did get to see a highlight of the game-winning goal. It's always good to beat the USA, and it's always even better to do it on their home turf.
Right?
Uh, the ladies put on a solid game. From my understanding, they put on a solid game. I've been kind of following it throughout the tournament. They've been doing what the Canadian women do. They put skates to asses. And they showed the U.S. what's up.
Yeah.
Um, the ladies they always knock it out of the park. These are always fun games to watch. Um, and now they go back to the PWHL and they continue their pursuit of a playoff push.
Exactly.
And that should be interesting to see how that ends up because, like we've discussed in a couple episodes, um, there's rewards for not tanking. So it'll be interesting to see like how this plays out right till the end because nobody's trying to forfeit points on purpose.
Yeah.
It'll be
No.
fun to see.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun to see, and seeing the crowd again at Utica packed once again. To those who keep on, those who want to keep going online and say, "Oh, no one cares about women's hockey." No, dude, it's gonna be 5 people in the stand. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. People loved watching the P-Dub games. People were tapped in watching international hockey. People keep trying to throw these strawmen out there and no one cares, and they keep on getting dunked on. It's so much fun to see.
But these are the same people that like the people that are complaining are people that are most likely watching. They're just trying to be hard up and uh have some kind of online persona where it's like they play the villain, but meanwhile they're actually at home watching it. They're streaming it somewhere while they're playing a video game on the next monitor or something. But
Right?
so all these people who don't like women's hockey are just like women's hockey is boring. Nobody's watching it. Basically they're recycling WNBA jokes with PWHL jokes, and it's just like get a grip. Like for you to be publicly saying all these things means that you watched at least one game,
It's true.
and that's still eyes on the sport.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And if you don't care so much, and why? Yeah, exactly. If you don't care so much, why are you watching? Why are you tweeting about it? Why don't you go back to playing COD and screaming at your mom for some more Pop Tarts?
yeah, and for all these people, like the people who are tweeting like for multiple games, and just like we know you're watching. What are
Yeah,
you like? You're just proving your whole point. Like just disconnect from Beyonce's internet, go outside, nice out, go touch some grass.
yeah. No, exactly. It is just it's it frustrates the heck out of me to see that people still want to be that dense and still want to think that it's a flex to dunk on women's sports because like Bobby Ryan, we didn't get into it on the show here, but Bobby Ryan, how he was trying to say, oh, no one watches women's sports, no one cares about them. You can't name 7 players who play in WNBA, buddy. The NCAA women's basketball has had a higher audience than virtually any NHL game you've ever played in, Bobby. So keep quiet.
That Mel bravado can get you killed, man. Talking all that stuff and have nothing to back it up with. Like
Right.
you're talking just to talk because you've lost relevancy. And it's like, hey, guys, remember me? Let me say something stupid so y'all can keep my name in your mouth.
Right? Even funnier, this man tweeted his way to unemployment. Yo, how you get fired on your day off, dude?
That is the rarest of feats. I mean, you fucked up when you got fired on your day off.
Like that was you had your nice little podcast talking Sens hockey for Nation Network. You could have just kept quiet, kept doing your thing, but you want to be misogynistic and look, they dumped you. Tough, tough, tough look, Bobby.
Yeah, not every thought in your head needs to be a 180 character tweet.
Right? Oh my gosh. And but I do want to give some flowers to Team USA, Layla Edwards, the first black woman to play for Team USA in the Women's World Championships and the Rivalry Series, tied for the USA lead in goals, 6 goals in the tournament, 7 games played. We've talked about her before, killing things in Wisconsin. To see this tournament being her true coming out party and for Team USA, that's amazing to see as a black woman's out here. Layla's killing things with some black girl magic for Team USA.
Love to see it. Love to see it. She's like you said, she's absolutely killing it in this tournament. Man, that wrist shot is lethal, man. Holy, her wrist shot reminds me of Joe Sakic.
Mm-hmm.
because Joe Sakic had one of the most sickest, like hardest, most accurate wrist shots I've ever seen. And like I try to take parts of his game and add it to mine because like it was so sneaky and so deceptive, but like it was also so hard too, right? Where it's just like you can release it from anywhere, and she can do the same thing too. I'm glad to see that she's out there, she's killing it, and she's got eyes on her, which is well deserved. Um, Big ups to her, and I hope she continues to kill it. And I can't wait to see her in the P Dub and kill it there too.
No, absolutely. She's definitely going to be someone I cannot wait to see playing pro hockey. So before we wrap things up here on the third intermission, any last thoughts, Troy, you want to get off your chest? Any final thoughts to get off your chest before we call a night?
The playoff race should figure itself out, I think, by tomorrow night. Um, the Leafs close their season in Florida, which sucks just because you're in the state of Florida. Um, they close it out against against Florida and Tampa. We are locked into a first round matchup with the Panthers. We're hoping for better things this time around. It'll be interesting to see who wins the Atlantic because I think Florida can still catch Boston, but I think they're going to need a lot of help along the way. And the Bruins, they don't play no favorites for nobody. So, other than that, yeah, it's going to be an exciting 3 days of hockey. The next 72 hours are going to be fun to watch because if I'm not mistaken, playoffs start Saturday, I think.
Round one starts April 20th is the plan. So
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. Will Matthews get 70? I think he does. I think, like we said earlier in the show, I think he gets 71. They're just gonna keep feeding him pucks until he gets it. So I hope that goal, whatever. I hope Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky are ready to face a lot of rubber just from Matthews by himself.
oh my
Um,
gosh,
other than
yeah.
that, other than that, no, that's it for me.
Nice. All right. Yeah, no, I honestly think that this guy's gonna get like 10 shots in his final two games each. Like he's gonna have 21 shots those last two games. They're gonna feed him to get him to probably I think 71 is I'm gonna go with you as well, Troy. 71. But yeah, no, he's gonna be getting that puck all game long against Tampa and against Florida to hit that mark.
Yeah. Sheldon Keith's gonna be like, you can't come off until you score.
Hey man, his team's gonna tell him, "Yo, we're getting you there, and come hell or high water, you're gonna play every penalty, every power play, every penalty kill, try to get you sprung on a break on a penalty kill some way somehow. They're gonna keep him out there, I think. So it'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to keep an eye on as we call a night here in the third intermission. Thank you all once again for tapping in, enjoying the pod. Please like, subscribe, comment, leave a review. It should be found on almost every podcast application that is on the internet. I'm Avery. I'm out of here. Mr. Troy, we're out of here. Thank you once again for allowing us to use space in between your head top. Until next week, we're gone.
Drink your water.
Yes, sir. Thank you for Jason.